We're live again this Tuesday. I'm super excited for Jaw Time with Realtor Jeet. I have she's one of my greatest friends. I look up to this woman. She is a powerhouse, and I'm so happy and glad to share with you Kathy Tagenel, who is an entrepreneur, strategic business advisor, and community designer. And that's something that we'll be talking about today is community. As president of Go Givers International, she helps entrepreneurs create a vibrant culture of excellence and live their core values, the Go Giver way. And I can tell you from workshop leadership retreats and Beyond the MasterMind, when I say live the Go Giver way, it is absolutely living the Go Giver way. So I won't hold you back any longer because I'm super excited to introduce to you my dear friend, Kathy Tagenel, on today's Jaw Time with Realtor Jeet.
Hi, honor to be with you, and thank you so much for my beautiful mug. I love it.
Cheers.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. It is truly my honor and pleasure to get to spend this time with you this afternoon.
Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. So, Kathy, as I've introduced you, I did mention community designer, and that's something that is so I think it's so important for business owners and corporations to understand the designing of a community and how it's built. So we could, how did this come to place for you?
Thank you, Harjeet. And I completely agree. Ever since I got started working with Bob Burg, um, helping him build the Go Giver movement, community has been important to me. I really feel that part of one of the magical things in life is the community that we're in, not just our local community, but thanks to technology, community is global, like we're finding with the Go Giver community. And you can really create community around shared values and pull people in. But it is something, just like in business, you really have to put some thought into how do you build that community. Just like I feel a business is a community. A lot of business owners may not think about it in that terms, but it truly is. You're bringing together people for a shared purpose, whatever your mission is for your business, right? The values. So the more clear you are in your intention of what your why is, then the more effective you can build your community, your business, right?
Absolutely, Kathy. I 100% agree with that. And that's so right, because now I had the pleasure and honor to be part of the Go Giver community as of last year, and to watch the community grow to what it's have grown to today is just absolutely amazing. And this was years of thought and design behind creating the Go Giver community. And how did I believe that there's so much importance in creating that value that you talk about, and it sparks such an inspiration to me on how I want to build the culture within my organization. And so that's something that the Go Giver community has helped me with so much. And could we talk about that a little bit on the design behind that?
Of course, and thank you for being one of our original members in the Go Giver Success Alliance, which
My
is
pleasure.
the community and the alliance. Bob and I started that group first because that really is the leaders and the influencers in the Go Giver movement. And I've just been so impressed and inspired by you, Harjeet, and what you're building with your team. You're a natural leader, a natural facilitator. You know, you really do know how to help develop your team members. so that they can thrive. So thank you for being part of that. And it really has been a process. Bob and I started the original Success Alliance back in 2013, but technology really wasn't there to support what we were really wanting to create. So it kind of went dormant for a little while. And then one benefit out of this horrendous pandemic was the use of being online with Zoom and other technologies. And we realized this was the time to build community again. So, and thanks to the Mighty Networks platform, we were able to create the new community. And I want to give a shout out to Mighty Networks and their community design masterclass that they offered. It really helped me think at a whole new level about how do we design this community? How can we provide as much value to the members as possible? Um, and it's not just about content creation, it's really about how do we help the members grow and transform. And really, our big purpose is to help people live the Go Giver way and conduct their business that way, right?
Absolutely. I love that because when I hop onto Mighty Networks, it's not just like you said about the content that's in there. There is, I have our dear Lisa Gil- Gilbert who sends us cards all the time. I have mine at my office, but she sent me this wonderful card with all of us on the Zoom. And then over here, there was a comment on, somebody made a nice comment, appreciation post. Anna Mon, one of our lovely members, and she wrote The Go Giver Marriage with John David Mann. And I was like, I wanted to cry looking at these because this is the community that is being built within the Mighty Networks group and the Go Giver community, the Success Alliance. And I mean, this is just a fraction of the wonderful people that we've met through it. So it's not just about the content creation, it's about the engagement and the relationships that are being built through this. And that's one of the biggest values that I have received from the Go Giver community that you and Bob so graciously have opened and invited us into. So thank you for that as well. Because I mean, for anybody who's looking to build a community or build their team and to learn how to do this, there's no better place. And I'm not saying it just because I'm part of it, it's because this is the value I've actually received and is why I'm still here.
That's
Because
wonderful. Thank you.
my pleasure. And so thank you for sharing that with us because I really do believe that that is part of it. It's not just about the content; it's about the engagement and what the members are receiving from here.
And thanks for mentioning Lisa Wilbur. She's extraordinary, and she shows that it's about the relationships and uses her send out card service to really touch people's lives, like she did with you, sending the card. It's just phenomenal, and it's those little things that really build community. And actually, that's where culture fits in. The way I sort of see it is that community is bringing together people that have shared values. Their whys line up in what they're wanting to do at a very high level. I mean, in our community, everybody's in a different business, but we're all there because we want to live and conduct business the Go Giver way. But culture is really about the interactions, the personal relationships amongst individuals, and kind of the standard that you set for that. And that's where the 5 laws of the Go Giver come in. They truly have codified the how we interact with one another And it's just a beautiful way. And I think any business can create a culture of excellence by using these 5 laws as the foundational principles to do that.
That Kathy, thank you for mentioning the 5 laws of stratospheric success. And yes, it's about building that relationship and the culture. I love community is bringing people together with shared values. So that's one of the other things that, so before I go into that, I just wanted to refresh. If anybody has any questions for Kathy or any comments, you can comment. We are on Facebook Live, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and you can make the comments, and I will pop them up over here so Kathy can see them as well. And um, yeah, so with communities bringing people together with shared values, and one of the things that is so amazing about the shared values that we have is we're not in this. Most of us are not in the same industry. We are in different industries learning, and that's the power, is that we're learning from different perspectives, looking at different lenses of other entrepreneurs or people who are working for corporations and businesses on how their culture, their community is, and how we applied the Go Giver, the five laws of stratospheric success into the lives of other people, rippling that into the world. And I think that's the best part of this impact that we can share with others.
That is so true. And that one thing, that one of the values I think as a community that we all share is that we're all people who want to continue to grow, to learn, to thrive. We want to each help, lift all boats up, not just our own boats, that tide that raises all. And I think that's something that's very important. And it's so wonderful to get to learn from all these different people, and the different industries. It's just phenomenal to see everyone in action and how they're applying the laws into their own life and business.
Absolutely, Kathy. And you've been a major part of each and every single one of our lives. I know you've touched my life like
Oh, thank you.
10 times, 1,000 times full. And I have so much gratitude for you. That's why I'm so happy and I'm excited that you're here so I can share what I've received from you to anybody out there who's going to be watching. And hopefully they will see the value and reach out to, and you could reach out to the gogivercommunity.com and receive this same thing. So one thing that I absolutely, and that's the baby who drew over there, absolutely love is you're also a Kolbe Certified Consultant. And I've never heard of Kolbe before I met you. And, and I met in one of our Go Giver Impact rooms in Clubhouse with that you had that you were the guest of and you were talking about. And I have my Kolbe here. Oh, here it is. So this helped me tremendously learn who I am and how I work in in my own environment. So could we talk a little bit about the importance of knowing this and building the culture and community that we built?
Yes, I love talking about our striving instincts. That's what the Kolbe A Index identifies for an individual. And I personally am on a mission. I think every entrepreneur needs to know what their striving instincts are. They're part of their gift that they have to offer, and it is how they naturally take action. It's not why they do what they do, it's not what they do, but it's how they're going to be most productive doing it. And for me, it was life changing understanding, because unbeknownst to me, way back in probably 20 years ago, I was really working against my grain. I had shifted careers thinking I could become a massage therapist full time. And I was just wondering what was wrong with me because I just it wasn't just it wasn't physically exhausting. There was a mental strain going on. And that was when, thanks to Robert Kiyosaki, and forgive me, I can't remember which of his Rich Dad, Poor Dad books. It's not the first one, but it's in one of the many that I read. He mentioned Kathy Kolbe and this Kolbe index and how it changed his life for the better. So I immediately went on, I took the assessment, and it's one of those, I did have somebody at Colby explain it to me. While the report is very informative, it just helps to have someone really flesh it out and how do you apply this. And on one of the modes is how hands-on you are, how you handle space and tangibles. And my gift happens to be that I can envision things. I see things in my head. I'm not a hands-on person. Doesn't mean I don't ever do something hands-on, but it's how much time and energy can I put in hands-on endeavors. And here I was trying to be a massage therapist. You can't get much more hands-on than that. So I found out I can do one or two great massages a day, but beyond that, I just don't have the mental energy that goes with the physical piece to be able to sustain that as a career. So I learned that that needs to stay as, something I do for fun. I take care of family members and friends. I don't try and do a living. So I went back to my roots in business, and have continued on using my gifts, my ability to create new innovative ways of doing things. I love creating programs and events and communities, that type of thing.
And you're so amazing at it. Like I I get so inspired watching you do this. Even when in earlier this year when I was at the Go Giver community, the Beyond the Mastermind, and just watching you organize everything and lay out the books. And you gave such a nice book that smelled like apples.
Oh, our Go Giveaway journal. Yes, I love this little journal.
Like the detail that was put into it and the care, Kathy. It was just so great. And I'm like, I'm not somebody who would do that or can think that far from there because I guess it's just not in my in my instinctive mode. If I tried, maybe yes, but it's not something that I would like.
Yeah, your gift, you are the natural mediator. So your gift is your ability to bring people together in a team and to build consensus, really supporting each team member. You naturally just sense what they're going to need and you can deliver it. That there's only 10% of the population that has your type of, in the Colby verbiage, MO, your modus operandi. So you're a mediator, facilitator, and it's beautiful to watch you in action. When we were at the Beyond the Mastermind, just how you supported everyone in the room, and your heart just flows open with love. So you are quite an inspiration, and working with someone like you is just really a treat and a dream.
Well, thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. So I want the audience to see and notice that Kathy has a total different mode than I do. And of course, if you want to learn more about that, you could reach out to Kathy as well. And she'll give you more information on how to get information on your own Kolbe. But as you could see, is mine's is so I like showing things. I like being visual. And so mine's is different from Kathy's. And what this helps us do as a community, as business owners, as people who are working for businesses, is it gives us an idea of how we can work together. And that's exactly what Kathy was just explaining to us. So this is Kathy's gift. This is Harjeet's gift. Now, if we all knew what our natural instinctive gifts were, how much productivity would we have as a whole organization? And I think that's just the coolest thing that I've gotten introduced to.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And if I can just share how what the Kolbe is identifying is different from other assessments out there. Basically, and this is an idea that goes all the way back to Plato and Aristotle, they theorized that there were actually three aspects to our mind. Most people are very familiar with the cognitive or the thinking aspect, like an IQ test, the Wonderlic capability survey identifies how smart we are, right? Um, then you have all the affective assessments, personality, maybe DISC, Myers-Briggs, Berkman, color code. All of those are emotional based indexes. Then there's the third aspect of the mind, which is the action, how you take action. So there's the why, which is sort of the preferences, the personality, the values. There's also bank code that our wonderful friend Peg Duchesne does that identifies what motivates people. Wonderful assessments. They're all valuable. And then you've got the thinking, which is what? Kind of the content of what you do. And then Kolbe comes in and shows you how you instinctively, your natural way of being successful. So you need to understand all three, but it's just I've just found most people have never heard of these instincts and the Kolbe assessment. So it's just so powerful and so liberating so that you're not working against your grain. And it's not something that puts you in a box and says you can't do this. There are actually 12 instinctive strengths. We can do all 12, but there are four that are our natural gifts. It's
Yeah.
how our energy natural flows. And the more we can utilize and stay sort of in that zone of genius and that those strengths, the more it just feels like we're not having to work because our energy just flows. It's sort of like being in the flow, of life. So it's just so important. And when we can help our team members understand this about themselves, we give them the freedom to be themselves. We don't expect everyone to do things the way we do it. As long as the agreed upon result or outcome that we're looking for is achieved, if we can give people the freedom to get there their natural way, it unleashes so much potential and innovation within team members.
I love that. I love that. It just makes so much sense to understand all of this. It's like a lot of people heard of DISC or personality assessments, and just to know how you do the work and to get to that level of achievement that you want to get to within the team and knowing it is just a beautiful thing for the entire group that we work with. And so, Kathy, I love how you explain it because I know for me, I was like, what is this? It's totally something new for so many people. And you're right, not a lot of people heard about it. And well, at least not a lot of people I know have heard about it. So, how, when you go over this with people, how has it changed their life and work, their careers?
Well, a lot of people, they say it's just like this light bulb goes on. I know at one of our, Go Giver Entrepreneur Academy events, I actually had someone that was crying because it was so eye opening to her, and she realized that she had kind of was doing her day in a way that the way she was starting her day out was actually draining her, and that's why by the end of the day she was exhausted. And by just changing and working with her natural mental energy flow, it just opened things up for her, and she was able to really start enjoying what she's doing. So there's by understanding this and understanding just some little tips about, okay, so this is how I'm wired, if you will. This is how I can approach my day. Here's how, just in a general thing, we all sense that feeling of mental fatigue, right? Where maybe you're having to read a long report. That is not, I'm a five in what's called the fact finder mode. which means I'm right in the middle, but having to read like long contracts, I can't do that for long periods of time. So I break it up. So the key is when you feel that first tinge of mental fatigue, you want to switch modes. Go do something else. Maybe it's just get up and go walk around, take a little walk outside, let that mental energy recharge itself. But it all depends on, how much energy you have in the 4 action modes. So, and just quickly, I'll share. So the 4 action modes, they are continuum. So the first one has to do with your instinct to probe. It's how much information you need before you take action. And Kathy Kolbe called that the fact finding mode, and it's a continuum. Some individuals, they will go to great depths researching, asking questions, finding out all the details, and we need people like that. We need our accountants, our lawyers who will go to those lengths, right? Then we need the opposite end of the spectrum, the people who wonderfully could just simplify and will just give you the bottom line summary of what you need, and they're not going to need all that. And if you try to give them all that information, their eyes are going to glaze over and they're going to check out. And we've all talked with people, and you can tell when you've told them a little too much, right? And then there are people like myself and Harjeet. We're in the middle. We accommodate in that zone, so we can kind of go either way depending who we're working with. But our gift is our ability to explain to people. Then we have the next action mode, which is our instinct to structure and design. It's called the follow through. And people who initiate, meaning when you have a problem to solve, you're trying to create a solution, make a decision, if you initiate in this mode, that means your instinct is to start by organizing, pulling together the information, creating the timeline, coordinating it, but you need to see all the pieces of the puzzle. And once you have them, boom, you can organize it, you can design it. Then there's the people on the other end of this spectrum. They adapt. They will not follow a system. Their beauty is that they can look at a system that I designed and go, 7 steps? I can do that in 3. And so it's great because they can help me improve. I'll plan to make sure I've covered every contingency, but they'll come along with their gift and say, you've really overdone it. You can simplify it here. And then again, someone with your gift is your ability to maintain that system. You'll tweak it and make it better, but you don't have the drive to want to create it. But you'll take that system and you'll make it even better. So again, that's our follow through action mode. And then next is our instinct of how to improvise. And it's how much risk and uncertainty we can handle. So there are the people who initiate in what's called quick start. That means they will jump and then look down to see where they're going to land, right? And those of you out there, that's you. You're like, yep, I'm right there. People that if I challenge you and said, I bet you can't do that, you're going to be like, oh, don't say I can't do that. I'm going to do it, right? You are the people who just, ideas are constantly flowing. What if we did this? Well, what if we did this? You're very future oriented, right? But you're also individuals that you need a hard deadline. And at that last minute, that's when that energy flows. And all your life you've been told, why can't you get that done ahead of time? Well, that's not how your energy flows. So give yourself the freedom, but no, you've got to give yourself the time at that last minute to get it done. And then we have people at the other end of the spectrum. They are the stabilizers in our life. They keep things from not being chaotic, which we need. And if you're building a business, you need those types of individuals because in order to grow, you need to have that stable, consistent systems, right? And then there are people like you and I, Harjeet, who modify. Give us an idea, we'll take it and we'll tweak it all up.
Yeah.
And we just love being around people that are these idea generators and who, we can take those ideas and run. And then lastly, again, I had mentioned this before, it's how hands-on you are. This is what she calls the implementer action mode. It's not about getting it done. It's about, do you need to do it with your hands? So the people who initiate in this mode, they are the people that are working with their hands all day long. They are people that are mechanics, constructions, all of your tradesmen, they just naturally, they can't help it. They need to be using their hands, and they can do that all day long and not run out of energy. Whereas me, I'm going to run out after a couple hours at most. Right? And then in the middle, like yourself, you have the people that you can naturally fix things. You'll go in and tweak it. You're not going to go to the nth degree like the person who actually initiates in this mode, but you can fix it. So if something breaks, I'm going to come to you, Harjeet, because you're going to be able to take care of it faster than I would. And then me and my fellow compatriots in the envision strength, we're going to see it in our mind's eye and get lost in our head a lot. And we're the people that need those handyman on speed dial.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So, okay, that was like a quick tour
Yeah.
of what the action modes are and what they can do for us. And again, this is different than our personality.
Yeah.
And personality is important and it plays a role. But when you are striving to accomplish something, if you are in the present moment, your instincts are taking over, not your personality and your preferences. So when we're working, this is how we want to be engaged. We'll be bringing our best selves to the table. And I read a quote by Pablo Picasso, the famous painter, recently that I love. And he said that the meaning of life is to discover your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. And I thought, wow, that's so beautiful. And that so fits with the Go-Giver philosophy and law number 4, the law of authenticity, that the most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. And in order to give yourself away, you've got to be aware of what that gift is. So it's just really fun. Forgive me, I can go on forever.
No, I love that. I was typing the quote. So write that down, guys. This quote from Pablo Picasso, because it's a lot to write. So
yeah, I'll say it again, that the meaning of life is to discover your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away.
Give it away. And that is such the Go-Giver way of life. You're so right. That is so right, Kathy. That is the way that this little book can just change everything you do.
Yes, thank you, Bob Burg and John David Mann, for writing such a fabulous book and inspiring millions of people around the world. That is my greatest blessing, is that I've been able to work with Bob on this, sharing this message worldwide and meeting amazing people like you, Harjeet. You have touched my life amazingly, and so have the members of our community. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure, Kathy. I'm thinking about everything that you've just spoken about with the Kolbe, and knowing, yes, it's important to know your personality. And if anybody's heard of DISC assessments, also like your DISC assessment, and then adding on to your natural instinctive gifts into everything that you know about yourself, how impactful that will be for you and your team and the people that you serve outside of your team. Like bringing that best self of you to the other person. Now you can serve at, like Bob and John say, at a stratospheric level. And that's a gift. It's a gift that is given to anyone whose consciousness it comes to. And I just feel that that's just so important and beautiful to know about. And like you said, Kathy, it's flowing with the universe. And that's just so beautiful when you mentioned that it flow, like this helps you flow, and now your energy is meeting your purpose. And so thank you for explaining this. Again, there's the fact finder, the follow through, the kickstart, and the implementer.
That's right. Thank you. Said that all so beautifully, Harjeet.
Oh, my pleasure. And Bob is here. He just mentioned.
Well, my dear friend, thank you for joining us. I'm not sure where to do the
I'm so sorry. I think I muted you. What was that, Kathy? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, great to see our dear friend, my dear friend, Bob Burg, joining us here. Thank you for your kind words there, Bob. Max, I don't see how to chat, or I would chat you back. Oh, you're muted, I think.
Kathy, you have a mug that says you're on mute. And you're on mute.
And yes, I was on mute. Thank you, Kim, for this wonderful mug. Where is it? You're on mute. It's been a lifesaver. Keep it underneath my mic here.
It's so funny. So Bob says, blessing to have Kathy, aka Agent 99, in my life as a dear friend, a business partner, community developer, leader, and strategist. And Bob, you are so right, because Kathy is just everything and more. I just had the best pleasure of getting to see you in person, and be in the same room as you is so powerful and empowering. And so thank you for everything that you do for not just the Go Giver community, but for impacting so many people's lives and building the message, sharing the message of Go Giver to the level that you have. Um, we just appreciate you so much.
Thank you, and I love that we can connect online, but I have to tell you, there is something magical about being in person. And I meant to have that handy, but there's research they've done that show that in the digital world, there is something that doesn't come through. And it is that life force. Well, you sort of get it, you don't get it like you get it in person. So I'm so glad I got to spend those couple of days with you. It was just phenomenal. You and your husband and your daughter, you're just all amazing. Thank you. I'm going to shout out to Rinder. I wish she were my daughter too.
She is. She loves you. Every time we get on a call, she's like, "Can I say hi to Kathy, please?"
Please
So
tell her hi and that I love her.
I'm going to show her this, and I'm going to have a little clip of it and put it on her Instagram, because she's going to be so happy about that.
Good.
She's in the pool right now swimming with her sister. And it's just so cool to see that you're right. It's that life force that's missing through the digital platform. So it is nice to have these retreats and have these seminars in person, that you've so graciously given your time to. And so I would like to use the next minutes that we have, or 20 somewhat minutes, on Kathy. Who is Kathy, and what do you love?
Wow, what a great question. Well, I love adventure. I definitely was a Trekkie. I want to boldly go where I haven't gone before. I think I was born a little too late, maybe, or early for the whole star thing. But I know Elon Musk is working on that piece. But I really do thrive on creating new and innovative things. I will share my sort of downfall is I'm not a maintainer. Once I've created it, I want to continue to keep innovating it. Um, I love the live workshops, retreats. That's where I thrive, and I want to spend more of my time. I love creating the community and figuring out how can we continue to improve it and deliver even more value to our members within the community, and always looking at how can we improve and create that experience of value every touch point along the way. So
You absolutely do. I've seen you work through that. Like, there was this thing that you did with us as well in January, that basically told us what our life is like, or our pathway to life, in life, or purpose.
Were you talking about the heroes, Shiro's worksheet exercise, that one? Or, oh no, you think the gene keys.
Yes, the gene keys.
Yes.
That made me put tears in my eyes when you when I did mine as well, and we went on a Zoom and you went over it, because it just absolutely meant it just spoke out to me that, wow, this is who I am, because I have always been that person who's done so much, yet I'm always learning something, and then
Mhm.
all of that's going to come back later on in life, as we mentioned last time. So that's pretty cool, the gene keys. How did you learn about that?
Um, I was working with a coach and she introduced me to them. And it was so eye opening. I had never heard of Richard Rudd and the Gene Keys. And, it identifies your four, what he calls the prime gifts. One is your life's work, one is your evolution, sort of what is your greatest challenge that you're facing in this lifetime, what is your radiance, and what is your purpose. And I was just blown away by what it said about me, and it
Mhm.
resonated at such a deep level.
Yeah.
And also helped confirm that, yes, I am on the right path. Like in my life's work, it is about having a new vision for community. I was like, I almost fell over when, and that my purpose is about, charting a new pathway and new endeavors.
Mhm.
That's just a little, but it's just something
Yeah.
that it just takes things to a whole nother level for people who are really wanting to. I think we all have our own unique path that we're on. We have our own gift to share uniquely. And I just find it another valuable tool that can help kind of point us in a direction of where, we should look. And one of the key things Richard Rudge says is that every shadow contains a gift. So the things that we think are our flaws really is the place that are going to lead us to our greatest gifts that we have to share here. And that's really been enlightening for me to realize, because I was always like trying to be perfect. I had
Mhm.
to not make a mistake. And then I realized that that's not serving me,
Yeah.
right? That was a pattern that I developed as a child, but it's holding me back as in my evolution. So that's just one of the things, that the many tools out there. Enneagram is another amazing tool that can help people identify areas of growth. Um, so
That's the most beautiful thing that I find that you've helped so many people do, is find those areas of growth and take action on it, and help take them act with, like, to get there and understand it. And so I feel like the important thing is knowing, like, the message, and please, Kathy, correct me if I'm wrong, but the message is everyone has their journey and their path, and to embrace it. Embrace your flaws, embrace your gifts, and continue on to this path where you fulfill your purpose in this life that we've been graciously given to.
beautifully said, Harsh. That's right. I think we each have something unique that we're here to share with the world. And our, as Pablo Picasso would say, the meaning of our life is to discover that gift. And once you've discovered it, give it. Give it freely and stay open to receiving. Law number 5, the law of receptivity, understanding that when you give, you will receive. In 10,000 times more. But that's, as beings, that's what we're here, is to share. Sometimes we get caught in fear and the whole lack mentality, thinking that we can only do so much, and we're worried about, you know keeping score. Am I getting back? But what you give, it may not come directly from where you give it, but it will come back to you, because the seeds that you are planting, you just don't know where they're going to sprout up, but they're going to sprout, especially when you give it from an open heart of love. It can't help but sprout. And you never know, like Bob and John's little red book, they don't know personally all the millions of people that that message has touched and helped. I mean, they've gotten lots of people, and thank you to them for the emails and the post on social media sharing. Oh, it just warms the heart to see, the lives that have been touched.
Yeah.
For each of us, you just don't know, but your job is to just shine that light, share that gift, um, and trust it is all going to work out the way it's supposed to.
Absolutely. It's like you put this out into the universe, and the universe is one way or another is going to give it right back to you. And if there's any message out there, Kathy, that you would love to give people, what would that be?
Well, I'm going to quote one of my mentors, Kathy Kolbe. I loved how she said that the definition of success is the freedom to be yourself. And I want people to have that freedom to be themselves and to freely share their gift. That's when you're going to experience true joy.
The definition, please repeat that. I
Sure.
love
This is Kathy Kolbe's definition of success is the freedom to be yourself.
the freedom to be yourself.
That's right. We all need that because, again, we each have that something unique that we are here to share with the world. And without you, the world will not be the same.
That is, and that's been throughout humanity, throughout, you
Yes,
know,
that is a timeless teaching, message, spiritual principle, whichever you want to see it as, but it is. And I truly believe that in the core of my being. And part of my mission is to help every person I come in contact to experience more of who they truly are and to recognize that in that person.
and that in itself, Kathy, is so valuable because a lot of people don't understand why are they here. There's questions. There's unawareness, and then when you help bring that awareness, it's a beautiful thing. I'm sure when you see it and you get those thank yous, it's like this is really nice to see this person grow like that. And I've seen it myself when I see my team grow, and when I see a success in him, like wow, like you went from here to here, and you did that because you wanted to do that. That sparked within you, and then it's just such a great thing to see. It was reading Stephen Covey's book, Trust and Inspire, and I have a whole bunch of sticky notes right here in front of my in front of me on my wall. And one of the things is that he wrote, there's 5 beliefs, and I believe people have greatness inside them. My job is to unleash their potential, not control them. And I think that's just what you do. I don't think I know that's what you do. You see people and the greatness in them, and you help them unleash that greatness. And
Thank you.
my pleasure. And that's just something that's been so amazing. And I appreciate that I was able to share the knowledge that you have and the wisdom that you have shared with me. And if it helps even one person who's watching this today, I have personally accomplished a mission that I'm seeking out to accomplish. And I thank you for everything you've done and have supported throughout this year. So I've only known you for a year, a little over a year.
I know. Can you believe it?
You're my sister. You're like,
Our sisters, and you are so inspiring. You truly are just love in action. And I'm so inspired by you, how you take action. You know, the things that you've learned from Bob, like reading Trust and Inspire, you take those ideas and you apply them. And it's been so beautiful to see the success that you and the success that your team is having thanks to you. You are an amazing go giver, leader, and influencer, Harjeet.
thank you, Kathy. I so appreciate you. So, Kathy, thank you so much for today. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day and sharing with Team Jeet and everyone who gets to watch this and listen to you. It's a privilege to be able to hear your wisdom. And again, Kathy is also, she's a Kolbe Certified Consultant. If you need to, or if this is something that you find value of, do reach out to Kathy and you can get connected with her through this website right here, thegogivercommunity.com. And it's life changing for anyone who is looking for growth in their life. So, Kathy, like I say with all of my special guests, and you are my sister, and I love you so much, what would you close out with for the audience today?
Well, first I want to say cheers to Team Jeet. Thank you all. I wish you all great success. And to anyone who listened to us today, I wish you the freedom to be yourself, and may you know that true joy of sharing your gifts with the world. Thank you, Harjeet. Love you too. Love you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Kathy. So, guys, this is the second episode of the second season of Jaw Time with Realtor Jeet. I'm super excited to have Kathy here. Again, I cannot express to you how much she has helped improve my life and the growth that I have seen within this year. And I'm excited for the future. And I'm excited for your future too. So reach out. And I hope you enjoyed and found value to this. Love you and see you next week. Give me one moment, Kathy.